Alrighty, so here I'm getting ready to weld, and I'm just gonna tack it first onto this flange. This is just a regular MIATA flange. I think it's like $5 on eBay. I took the pipe and I cut it like I showed earlier, and I went ahead and marked it on the car itself. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the level, make sure it's straight, and then tack it. Alrighty, and here's that piece welded. Not the best, but it'll work. Hopefully it's fully sealed. We'll leak test later. So now what I'm gonna do is I got the axle back part of the exhaust, and I made a line right here, same size as that. So I'm gonna cut it, and then the final output will be this piece welded in there, so we can run our valve. So there we go. I've gone ahead and cut that part off. Now this one, and excuse me here while I hold the camera, but this was the old one, and I had markup lines, so it would fit kind of like that. And now the new one has that piece, and I fit it like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and tack these on together and get that fitment in the car. Then we can fully weld it. And since I don't have extra hangers, I just cut this one off of the old pipe. We're gonna go ahead and mount it all in the car right now and mark it with a Sharpie. So yeah, I've gone ahead and welded that bottom piece, and then I put the valve as well as the outlet that comes with it, and I've just tacked on this piece of 45-degree pipe, and I also went ahead and measured it this way here with Sharpie and blue tape along the outside, and I did the same on this side to match what this side is. I'm gonna cut the exhaust tips. I have new ones coming in, but just by doing this I can have a twin tip, valve operated. I think I match the angles fairly well. So yeah, let's go ahead. Let's take this off. Just gotta take the V-band clamp off, and then we'll go ahead and fully weld it. Alrighty, so I've gone ahead and fully welded the pipe. Have to cut a little angled piece to put in there to weld in. It's not the prettiest, but it'll hold. Very strong and no air leak. Now the next upgrade is about these bad boys. You guys can see a video here of what they're supposed to do. But anyways, with these are light up LED, and I've just tested them on my workbench, and 12 volts, and they light up blue. I tried changing the LEDs, but I opened it up and they're covered in silicone, so I'm just gonna leave them as blue. Maybe I'll add a filter or something in the future. But the first step is I've gone ahead and used my belt sander or bandsaw to just go ahead and cut the flange off of it. You guys can see here what it normally comes with, so you can put it on your old dinghy exhaust, but I'm gonna be welding it to the end of this, so exactly 2.5 inch, so it'll fit perfectly. So now let's go ahead and let's mount that, and then let's test fit and cut where we need to. Alrighty, so I just went ahead, I taped it off, marked it, and I was able to cut it. And now when I take the tip, almost matches up perfectly, so I was really close, exactly where I would want it to go. I just need to angle it, so I'm gonna cut this side off just a tiny little bit. That way it can angle and tilt it more here, so it's a more flush weld. And then we'll go ahead and tack it together. And for this end, I'm gonna go ahead and cut here where the dead current exhaust tip is. Cut back here so I can swivel this up a bit, because I want the exhaust being centered here instead of being so low like this one is. All right guys, so I've gone ahead and I ended up adding a little extension on this side, and I was able to add the exhaust tip, and I think it looks good. You guys can see the fitment. It's perfect, right in the middle. Now for the other side here, I'm having a little bit of an issue with this one. You guys can see by the cuts, the lining. So what I'm gonna end up doing is I'm gonna go to Advanced Auto Parts and buy an exhaust hanger, and I'm gonna hang it over there to the chassis, as well as get a remainder bolt that I need for over there. Alright, so what I'm doing right now is I need exhaust hangers. Here's one that I've made already. So I couldn't find any at the auto parts store, and I don't want to wait online, so I took this bar from Home Depot. It's like $6, and I made an incision or a line here, not all the way through, and I V-cut with just the angle grinder, and that allowed me to go ahead and just bend it. You guys can kind of see how I bent it here, and then I just welded it right in between that to give it a little bit of an angle. So I'm gonna go ahead and do one more. This will be the one from the chassis to the exhaust, and I'm gonna work from the one from the new exhaust tip to this one. All right guys, so I've gone ahead and fully tacked it on. You guys can see the twin exhaust tips. I do have to wire them up. I'm really excited to see what they look like. And I'm gonna take the fuse off so you guys can see the tacks and stuff. I have to put a exhaust hanger up there. But yeah, now we got this twin tip exhaust. I just gotta weld it all up and it should be good. And then I gotta wire up the exhaust valve. It'll be really good. And just like that guys, fully welded. Not the prettiest, but it's good. Now I'm gonna go ahead and cover everything except the muffler with black heat resistant paint. Let's do it. All right guys, so I've gone ahead, I painted them black. This high temperature paint, and then went ahead and this is the tow hook that I welded this piece that I made to hold the dampener for the exhaust, and I added the hanger on that one there. So right now I'm doing the wiring. You can see for these lights, I did a simple connector, temporary for now. In the future probably waterproof. But now I'm gonna go ahead and cut the connectors for the markers, and I'm gonna use those since I already checked and they're 12 volts. I have the right leads. I cut the positive one first. I'm gonna wire those up and then connect it all, and hopefully they work. All right guys, so I finished setting it all up. It's really easy. You guys can see the blue lights right now. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wire up the exhaust valve. I've gone ahead and ran it through there, the main wire. Now I'm gonna go and attach the wiring harness. And get it back there, so that switch on the right controls that. All right guys, so I've gone ahead, got it all ready, tested it all out. The valve works. It gets louder when I want it and quieter when I want it. The only bad thing right now is the exhaust tips don't necessarily match up. Pretty sure it's because I was mocking it up with no gaskets on it. So in the future I might shorten this one or lengthen that one. We'll see. For now I'm just gonna leave it, and I'll show you guys how it sounds in the lights later at night when we can see what it actually looks like. Right now what I'm gonna do is I have this electric power steering rack that I built. So I'm gonna go ahead, I've already done all the wiring here, so it's gotta give it 12 volt, and then you gotta put somewhere where the knob is. So I'm gonna take the interior apart and get it installed. Here's kind of the progress inside the car so far. I've gone ahead, removed the existing steering column. I've installed the back piece I made with the adapter that I made. And here I have the new electric power steering column all wired up. You can guys see how I wired it. This is a eBay kit. I'll go ahead and link all the parts in the description, but I'll take care of the wiring later. Right now I'm just gonna go ahead and get it installed.